Want to easily and irrefutably debunk the flat earth theory simply by using this picture that I took from my own iPhone? I'm going to show you how to do it. For some Christians who hold to the flat earth theory, they are bringing unnecessary ridicule upon Christianity in general and the Bible specifically. And I want to show you how to debunk the flat earth theory just by this photograph that I took from my iPhone.
No, you're not. You're just going to embarrass yourself and show how ignorant you are or deceptive. Let's see.
Basically, this is what the flat earth model looks like. So we are living according...
Straw man. Why do you always have to straw man flat earth? If flat earth was a psyop, why do you have to use a false model, a disk in space? Or as you say...
Flat earthers, we are living on a giant manhole cover. And the sun is up there, but whether it's 30 miles or 3,000 miles, both the sun and the moon are above the clouds. So if that is true, there is no possible way for the sun ever to illuminate the underside of the clouds.
This is true.
Does that make sense? Now, flat earthers will say, well, the sun just appears to set because it gets further away from us, and from our vantage point,
true,
the sun is going down. But dear friends, according to the flat earth model, the sun is always, always, always above the clouds. It has to be. It is above the clouds. So there's no possible way for the sun's rays ever to come up from underneath the clouds.
This is true. They will not come up from underneath.
The underside of the clouds. All of us have seen this. We've all seen sunsets, right? And the underneath side of the clouds is illumined by the sun's rays. But if the sun is on top of the clouds, there is no scenario for the sun's rays to get underneath the clouds and illuminate the underbelly of those clouds. The only way this works is if the earth is round. And so this is one picture that I took. Here's another picture that...
These are thin clouds that are showing sunlight through them, and I'm going to prove that to you in a moment.
Took from my iPhone, so I'm showing the same thing. Clouds being illumined from underneath. So just a little bit of science here. Open and shut case. The flat earth model cannot account for this. So,
yes, it can.
Well-meaning flat earth Christians, please, I implore you, let go of it. The Bible doesn't teach it. Rightly interpreted.
The Bible does teach it, but we're going to show you your proof doesn't make any sense.
Science absolutely refutes it. Just common sense absolutely refutes it in simple observation. So next time you see a sunset and the clouds are real pretty, think of that. The only way you can see that is if the earth is round.
All right, Pastor Justin, let's have a little lesson here. When we're done, let's see if you're man enough, pastor enough, to admit that you were wrong and retract your, let me say, stupid video, right? So here is we're looking up at a building here, and we're just, let's say it's noon, and we're watching the sun move away. It's moving across the sky, just moving across the sky. Globe, Earth, flat Earth, doesn't matter. It's moving across the sky. We know that the sun isn't below the horizon. It's just beyond the building. Now, if we wanted to see that sun, we can move backwards pretty far and get a better angle, and you'd be able to see the sun. And that's called perspective. So here's our perspective grid. And we'll add a man in here. His eye line is right here. And let's throw a mountain in here. Now this mountain, let's say it's 4,000 feet above his eye line. Okay, 4,000 feet above his eye line. Here's the sun. And the sun's just going to move across the sky, and it gets lower due to perspective. Now, we know, just like the building, that sun isn't below the horizon. It's beyond the mountain. The man could go up in the air and see the sun again, or he can move backwards, which will give him a better angle. So if we move him backwards, there's the sun again. Now, what can we say about this line right here? This line, globe Earth or flat Earth, because let's say this is 25 miles. That mountain would be flattened in 25 miles, maybe 50 miles, right? The curvature on a globe is just a couple hundred feet, so it doesn't matter because that mountain is thousands of feet above his eye line. So this line here that appears to him from his point of view looks to be at his eye level, but it's really thousands of feet above his head. The sun continues its journey away, and it goes just like the building beyond the mountain. Beyond. And that's it. It looks like it's at his eye level, but it's not. So now let's add the clouds. We got the clouds here, which is the atmosphere. It could be a cloudless day, but over distance, the atmosphere compresses and it becomes opaque. Here's our sun. The sun moves into the distance again, going beyond this horizontal eye zone. Right? So now what is this line here? Well, these clouds, the atmosphere deck has squeezed into that apparent line. So this line right here, which is his horizon, is the top of the mountain, which is thousands of feet above his eyes. And it's also the clouds, which are thousands of feet above the mountain. The sun simply went beyond it. Went beyond it. So now let's take a look at your photo. So you believe that this photo shows the sun below the clouds and it's lighting up the bottom because he shows you a little angle thing there, right? First off, these clouds aren't very thick. Do you think clouds are opaque? This is like a fog. This is barely anything. And you're just seeing it because the sun's going away. The sun is above the clouds. It's always above the clouds. And I will show you that, right? But you think this, because we live on a ball, is below it. Let me show you how silly that is. Now let's take a look at some examples so you can possibly understand what you're seeing. Here we have a tunnel. We're looking at the sun. And this tunnel, we can see that it's not high off the water, maybe 10, 15 feet above sea level. But the sun is out here. Now, if there was a fisherman out here on his boat, could he touch the sun? No. It's way higher in the sky. So the sun is higher than this, but it looks like it's lower. This is called perspective. Something that globers never take into account. Here's a tunnel right on the water, a cave, 15 feet above the water, and this sun is over this mountain. This mountain looks to be a couple thousand feet high, right? But the sun appears to be below it. So in your world, the sun should light up the bottoms of these clouds here because they're on the top of the cave. The top of the cave's higher than the sun, of course. Perspective. Understand it, right? So here's a picture I took myself. Sun clear underneath the clouds. These are opaque, thick clouds. Opaque, thick clouds. The tops of the clouds are lit. Sun rising, thick, opaque clouds. The tops of the clouds are clearly brightly lit when you can zoom in on them and take a look. Same thing here. The sun is always above the clouds. You can see the edges, no problem. Right? You can see that the tops of these clouds are lit. The bottoms are not because the sun is above the clouds. The sun's coming into view. The tops of the clouds are lit. The bottoms are not lit. According to you, the bottoms should be lit. Again, here you can see them very, very clearly. Maybe you should have my app. Anyone that has my app, you can go to the images section right here. Click. And just type in sun under, boom, sun under, and here are all of those images. Here's another one. The sun is below this cloud, opaque, but look, this cloud right here is thin and translucent, so the sun goes through and lights up the whole thing. Let's look at another one. Here's a little combination of both. These clouds are thick and luminous. The sun is underneath. They should be lit according to you, but only the ones that are transparent appear to be lit. The tops are lit. Now, if you are unwilling to see this, you're a deceiver, whether you know it or not. But your proof is idiotic.